everybody! Have you ever wondered if there's a better way to do LinkedIn messages that doesn't feel spammy and make you want to vomit? Well, I figured a better way to do it without ever talking to a stranger, and that's going to consistently get you into warm conversations that turn into clients. But before we get into exactly what to write, let's start with something even more important. And before I did this, I get ghosted and nobody would reply. And I learned a different way to do this when I was at a business conference. And I don't know if you've ever been to one of these where there's somebody there you really want to impress. And the moment I caught their eye on the first day, I went straight over. I started talking about what I did. I wanted to make sure they knew because I thought I was really good. Nothing happened. And the next time I was at a business conference, I did it completely differently. When I caught their eye on the first morning, I gave them a quick nod. And then when they were on the panel later, I asked them a great question and they noticed me. And then straight after on the way out, the conversation flowed naturally and I got a great lead. LinkedIn is exactly the same. Liking somebody's comment is like the nod, and then the comment on their comment is the subtle question. Warm beats cold every single time. And I know this sounds like a lot of work, but there's some great apps that will completely automate this for you. I've used them and you can grab the links below and see how they do it on screen. But right now, after the like and the comment, you're going to need a connect message that works and make sure people accept it. Otherwise, everything goes quieter than a library at closing time. And the best way to think about this is to think back to a time when you were at the party and you didn't know anybody. I've been to loads of them. You look around, there's no common ground. Every conversation you start feels forced. It feels awkward. And I've left these thinking I'm terrible at networking. But then I've gone to something the next weekend, something like a college reunion. Same you, same social skills, but now you don't even need to think about what to say. You just walk up to somebody and say, remember when we had insert something in common. Instant connection, stories are flowing, numbers getting exchanged, real relationships. Nothing changed except the room. And LinkedIn works exactly the same. Instead of thinking about what to say in the connect message, think about how to create a room and a search where the connect message writes itself. And the quick way to do this on LinkedIn is to search for commonalities in Sales Navigator, like location, academic environment, companies work for, and you can use the same tool I mentioned earlier to do this and then send connections without involvement. And pro tip, make sure you check posted content in the last 30 days or you're just going to end up with an empty room. And now you've got all these conversations, we need to make sure that the message that we write just doesn't disappear under the mountain of other messages that all your prospects are going to be getting. And to do this, let me show you a little known hack that all the top LinkedIn salespeople use to guarantee their messages land at the perfect moment. It's like having X-ray vision to see exactly when somebody's at home and ready to receive mail. See all those green circles in your message inbox? They're actually a secret code LinkedIn doesn't even tell you about. A hollow green circle means that the person has mobile notifications turned on, and a solid green circle means they're online right now. When I started prioritizing these signals, my response rates tripled overnight. And in a moment, I'll show you exactly what to say to turn the messages into clients. But first of all, we have to understand the right format to take. And before this, I'd send LinkedIn messages like I was sending an email. And I couldn't understand why I didn't get any replies. And then I realized what was going wrong when I was applying for a mortgage for my property in London. I bought it a long time ago and I needed to remortgage it. I was speaking to 2 mortgage brokers, and one of them insisted on emails. They wrote long paragraphs and gave me lots of information. But being a busy father, busy business owner, it's really hard to consume dense information. Do you feel the same way? I found myself scanning them, checking out, and ultimately avoiding them. But the second mortgage broker put me onto his business WhatsApp. And these are the actual messages on screen. Short, factual, and easy to read. And therein lies the key to quick clients on LinkedIn. Short messages, lots of line spacing, and make it conversational and chatty rather than an email. And once you understand this, you're going to need to know what to write to get replies and get meetings and get sales. And this is the easy bit. And to understand why, let me ask you, do you like pineapple on pizza? How about chicken on pizza? I know that most of you either love it or hate it. There's no in between. And more than that, put it in the comments. Whenever you ask somebody this question, they can't resist giving an answer. And the great thing is, every industry and business area, including the one you work in, has a slightly controversial topic that people can't resist giving an opinion on. You get an answer, which means you've got a conversation. And then you're going to be ready for the next step. But what's the right topic for you, I hear you ask? Well, I'm going to give you some ideas. I've had great success asking the coaches about Tony Robbins because he completely divides opinion and it gets conversations every time. And some other topics that have worked really well for other clients are on screen. Stop the video and get it. And pro tip here, reference a current news event because people love up-to-date information. It feels fresh. They won't have seen it. And always structure the question like I have on screen, because this is called a tag question in linguistics, and it softens the tone of the questions and gets more responses. And speaking about softening the tone, before I learned how to pitch properly, which is the next step, it would shut down every conversation. And then it was really hard to restart a conversation because research says once we say no to something and make our mind up, the probability of changing a mind is way lower than when we haven't made it up. So what's your solution, I hear you say? Well, just like you always want to be close to the emergency exit in case something happens, we want to give the prospect a safe, easy exit that saves face and leaves room for the follow-up so they haven't made their mind up. And we'll cover that follow-up in a moment. But first, simply use an indirect ask like on screen. If they're interested, they will say, well, I am. And if they're not interested, they can gently say, no, I don't know anybody. And then you can move on to the next step, because 70% of communication is non-verbal. And so if you just write your follow-up, you're missing the bit that masters your energy, your warmth, and ultimately what matters in a human-to-human interaction. And so if there's a silence and nobody replies, I like to use Loom. Make sure you're on their profile, turn on Loom so that they can see a headshot of you on their profile, and then just hit record and then use a script like this. Hey, name. I'm just on your profile and I just want to say I really enjoyed your post about a specific thing they've done or thing they've achieved, and I'm looking forward to seeing more about it. That's it. They'll see the thumbnail, they'll see you on their profile, they won't be able to resist opening it because you're there. They'll notice your genuine interest in them and your reciprocity, doing something for them. You'll get a load of replies, a great relationship without looking like that Labrador staring at a plate of sausages and shamelessly trying to follow up with text. And don't forget to grab linked helper below, which will help you and save you time by automating every step of this process that I've just taken you through. You can grab it below and also see if we've got any of our live events coming up when I can personally feedback on your messaging sequences. Have a wonderful day, all right?